But I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before the new. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Signed up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew how much I miss not knowing that we're all screwed when we play our roles and ignore the problems. I like to be weighing my patience. Stay up, I feel so outdated. How can we look the other way? Sun is out, but the sky is gray. What would happen if I took a chance? It's always hard at first glance. I don't wanna, but I know I gotta do it. The truth is hard to swallow, I think I'll chew it. I wish I knew how much I miss not
What's up? What's up? This is Uncle REG with the T. We live, alright. What's up? What's up? Alright. Yeah, we in the house today. Make sure everything is okay. Alright. Hope y'all can hear me good. So today we gotta talk about, on this Saturday, talk about P. Diddy, man. We got to talk P. Diddy. I do it on this channel, I just now got some videos on here, talk about it, but we have to talk about P. Diddy. He got sentenced 4 years and 2 months. What was 50 months? People saying, let's see, 50 months. It's actually, they rounded it off. It's actually 4.16667 years. That's what it is. So they rounded it off to 2 months, basically. So that's what P. Diddy is getting. And we'll play a couple videos of how he's gonna deal with this and stuff. This is crazy. That was a wild day yesterday. I kind of drunk my beer and got too many. Well, I don't know. I guess I'm older. I can't take it, but I'm drinking some beer today. Just one. Shit. I can't do it like I used to, man. No. I was down and out after the live stream. I live stream on the other channel, for like about 5 hours and stuff, almost 5 hours. But I wanted to come over here and give y'all the tea on this stuff. We gotta talk about this, man, because it's, he got the 4 years, 2 months, and then he had to pay a $500K fine, which is actually nothing for him. That's not really too bad. It's not really too bad. For him. He got the money. Because remember, he was going to give, what? $50 million bail money just to get out. He thought he could buy his way out. It didn't work. Everything P. Diddy did not work. Buy his way out. Trying to suck up to the judge, it didn't work because at first he didn't suck up to the judge because he thought he would pay his way out. He thought he would intimidate the jurors and stuff like that. That didn't work. None of this stuff worked. They played 11-minute video, a documentary of him, being this community activist, being a caring father, loving father, and all this crap. This is some bullshit. It's some bullshit. It just didn't work out for him. People just saw right through that. You got caught on film beating a girl curled up in a corner in a hotel hallway. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think was going to happen? Come on. If they didn't play that video, he probably would have been still out right now. It'd have been he say, she say. When I played the video, that was it. And then everybody else started coming out. And now everybody really going to come out now. I wanted to find that video of Dante. Dante did Dante Nash, his stylist. Did a video, he speak out for the first time. I don't know, I'm gonna play it here anyway. So I want to play it here. But I'm trying to get it ready. But I wanted to play it here. I wanted to play the whole thing, but apparently they didn't put the interview out yet. I don't know if they did or not. Don't look like they did, but I'm gonna play the part that I can play. Trying to wait till, but okay, I got it ready. All right. Yeah. So, you know, he was crying in court when he came down with the verdict and stuff, you know, and it was just wild out there. You know, everybody was out there waiting for the sentencing to go down and stuff. And people was live streaming big time. I was too. I got on, you know, just before the verdict came through. I mean, the sentencing came through and stuff. And everybody was shocked because they thought that he was supposed to get more. Because the judge at first said that he wanted to give him 11 years. But he said that because of the probation office said that that was too harsh. So they said 7. Which I thought he should have got 7. So he said 4 years. The judge said. So the judge is actually more lenient than everybody else, because the prosecution said 11. They asked him for 11. The probation office said, no, that's a little bit too hard, give him 7. But the judge said right in the middle 4. Now, what is the reason for the judge doing that? Because a lot of people are mad at the judge. You know, the teacher tell all them, they're really mad because he gave him lesser time. He should have got more time, so they mad at the judge. But I don't see how you're going to get mad at the judge. I think that if he gave him 11, which he should have, you know, I think that they said Trump might appeal. I don't think Trump is going to do it. Or they would have won the appeal, or they afraid that the defense team, if they appeal, they would want the appeal. They can't win this appeal here because, I mean, what? You know, they saying they're gonna do 2. I don't know why people keep saying, you know, I guess they really want P. Diddy out. TMC, all of them keep saying 2. I mean, I'm going like, it looks like he's gonna commemorate. It was already 4. That's including time served, that 1 year. So 4. But he's gonna do 85%. So he might do just 3 years. He's gonna do 3 years. %85, or maybe they taking the 1 time served, 1 year time served, and subtracting it from the 4, and then you get 3. You get 3, and then they saying 85% of that is what, I guess, what, 2? That's what they doing. Let's see, 1.2 years and 85%. Let's see. Yeah, 2.7 years. So that's what they're doing. That's why they're saying 2. It's really 2.7. Even if they give, if they cut that 1 off the 4 because time served, you get 3.2. And that's 85% of that is 2.7. So it doesn't matter. That's still close to 3 years anyway. It doesn't matter. He's gonna be doing 3 years. I'm saying 3 years. I don't know what these motherfuckers talking about, man. I don't know. Cynical One, what's up? What's up? Man, so that's what he's getting. So apparently we find out now that a couple things. We found out that he had a speaking event lined up because he thought he was gonna get out. He thought that the judge was gonna give him. I don't know why he really thought that. I mean, these motherfuckers really keeping hope alive. Willie D, all them, Carcino, others out here really thinking that he was gonna get out. Time served. And I don't want to tell you what this other fool Ringo was talking about. I don't know what he said, that he didn't do anything wrong. And I'm going, okay. I mean, shit. I mean, that dude is off. Ringo is off the hook. I don't know what's up with him. But, I mean, anybody that's watching him now, you got to be a fool. Ringo TV Raw. If you watching his channel, you got to be a fool. You got to be a goddamn fool. That dude is completely demented. And what's crazy about it, he has a family. All girls, which is that's even worse. I don't know. But that dude is demented. I don't know. I mean, you know, like black people, you're straight crooning to 10th power. You know, you say all this crazy shit. Wearing MAGA caps, but they sit there don't want to wear the MAGA cap out in public. I noticed that. They wear the MAGA cap when you get on live, but then when you be out and about, it's almost at the store at Walmart. He did a video where he had that MAGA cap on. Yeah, just we know what was gonna happen. I want to see him have that MAGA cap on and talk all that shit that he talk online. Put that shit out in public. Yeah, walk around with that shit. We gonna see what's gonna happen. But anyway, enough of him. But anyway, they was hoping, he'd get free so he'd do this speaking events. He had a whole bunch of them lined up because he was preparing, get his money back. He was about to get big money. But then it didn't happen. He got the 4 years. And I don't think, like I said, I don't think he's going to get the appeal. I just don't think so because, the fucking sentencing was already low as it is. There's no way. The judge ain't signing off on that, the appeal or whatever. Nobody signing off on that shit. But anyway, 50 Cent found out about it and basically said that, well, he's not going to make his speaking events P. Diddy. So once you book me, 50 Cent has to troll. 50 Cent, Cameron, Dame Dash, they on some wild shit out here, man. I saw some sort of spoof they made with The Godfather. I guess 50 Cent was Mo Green and Dame Dash was Michael Corleone and I don't forgot what Cameron was, but all I know is that they just going in on each other, man. But 50 Cent, king of trolling on here. He is a troll. He's him, Cameron. But I think 50 Cent still got Cameron beat. But these motherfuckers are straight petty, man. Straight petty out here in these streets, man. You thought that, Let me do this. Hold on, let me. Oh, okay. Very petty in these streets. So he's not gonna make these engagements. These speaking engagements, they've been canceled. That's it. Because remember, now nobody's gonna have nothing to do with him now. Once you get sentenced and stuff, that's it. And then we got this word on the street that somebody tried to shank him in jail. You don't know who, but somebody tried to shank him. Got on top of him and tried to shank him. The guard pulled him off with some time. So all that, him helping prisoners and stuff, I think all that shit's a farce. Maybe some people want to listen to him in there, but some people still want to get a name for them for shanking P. Diddy. You know, he made a lot of enemies when they come out, and now he's gonna go to prison. I don't know if he's gonna get put in a low priority prison, or he's gonna get put in the prison, you know, where he got to deal with everybody under the sun. If he do, he might not make it out of there. I don't think anything. I don't think so. Like I said, 2 years or 3 years in there, it's like hell. You know, it's like time standing still. And he's in there, especially the stuff he did. And there's a lot of people in there that, you know, that don't like him, that want to get at him. He's in trouble. So they might have to put him in, you know, solitary confinement. They might have to do that. I don't know. We have to see. First, we got to find out where you're going to get transferred at. And that's going to happen on Monday. They're saying he's going to be transferred where he's going to be housed at. Because he's going to stay in the jail for a minute until they can figure all that and get all the particulars out of the way. And then they're going to move him. And that's where his sentence begins at, basically. And then whatever time served, he served in the prison, they'll transfer that over there. And then that's it. And then they'll tell him, you know, how many years you got over here. And that's it. Now, if he get in trouble before the end or something like that, you know, he's going to be in trouble. You don't want no more years tacked on you. You don't want 6 months or a year because you had to do this, you had to do that, or you got caught with some drugs. Remember, there's more drugs in there than outside. And I'm going to play these 2 videos for you right now. First, I'm going to play this with the Harvey Levin of TMC and Mark Garagos. That's the P. Diddy Lord. Garagos was his lawyer or something like that. Mark Garagos have a prison life will be like. You know, they talking about what Diddy versus Fear prison behind prison bars. 2 angry men. They had a podcast, and it says that Harvey and Mark examined what prison life would look like for P. Diddy and some of the biggest fears he expects to face behind bars. So we're gonna listen to this and commentate on this real quick. Let me get on over here. Okay, so let's go.
Are you concerned Sean Diddy Combs could be sexually assaulted, violently assaulted, because based on what was said
I'm not so worried about him being sexually assaulted because you know why? Because he goes that way. Now he might not want to have sex with this particular guy in there because, and that might get tricky. Then he might get assaulted because he might turn down the guy that wants to say, "So I don't like you." So I mean, I don't like you. I don't like you. You ugly or something. And he might take it anyway. But I don't see him getting assaulted. I think he like it. You like going that way. But he still have money, so he might, you know, have to pay for his protection in there. Maybe. We have to see. But anyway, let's see what Harvey and Mark has to say about this.
in court, it feels like a thing.
Yeah, it clearly is a thing.
Welcome to the Two Angry Men podcast. Mark, Diddy is going to spend definitely 2+ years in a federal prison. I just want to lay this out right now. He is a target because they talked about this in court. They said somebody tried to shank him already, and that he is a big target.
Dang.
Are you concerned that Sean Diddy Combs could be sexually assaulted, violently assaulted? Is that a thing? Because based on what was said in court, It feels like a thing.
Yeah, it clearly is a thing. I mean, they're already, and he did not want to make a big deal of it. They already tried to shank him once at the MDC, and that was thwarted. And it happens in prison. I mean, you and I could tick off how many times we are aware of somebody getting seriously injured or killed in prison, and so they're going to have to keep him somewhere that they can keep an eye on him. It would have obviously been better if he had gotten less time and had been at a camp. But
Hold on, folks. Goddamn. Let's continue.
he's going to be in a facility where somebody's going to have to, from the BOP, and I think they're well equipped to do it if they can.
So he cannot go into a camp, it has to be some sort of circumstance to get put in the camp, a low level camp or whatever. I think that Diddy might need to snitch. Maybe that's probably what he need to do. I don't know why he won't do it. Maybe if he do, they might just put a hit out on him or whatever. I don't know, but he might have to do some snitching if you want to get into a low priority prison or whatever, the camp or something. Whatever. But anyway, let's go.
To keep an eye on him because he is a target.
So what does he do? Do they put him in solitary? Is he with the general population? How is this going to work for 2 years?
All right, this feels almost illegal.
That's why I want to know how is this going to work for 2 years. Okay, let's go.
The first thing they do is they've got to designate him. That's what it's called.
Right.
They're going to take a look at what the judge said They're going to see the order on the docket. They're going to take the months. They're going to take the offense characteristics. They're going to take some of the other findings that Judge Sabrahanian made, and they're going to designate him to a location. He's going to be in the MDC for a period of time before he's transferred. When he's transferred, then they're going to take all of that into account, and then he will be switched from the jail system to the prison system.
There you go. Just like I said before, it's going to take some time. So he's going to be in the jail, the MDC, for a minute. Don't know how long, but they can speed up the process or delay the process. But most likely they're gonna probably want to get him in that jail so he can do his time and stuff. I don't think they're gonna waste no time with him, stuff like that. So we don't know how long that's gonna take. Some of y'all might know out there, tell me whatever. But anyway, I got experience. I don't know. Maybe y'all got experience with me, jailbirds and shit. But anyway, let's continue.
What about this? And I know you can't disclose specific conversations because you represent Diddy, but can you give...
So this is Diddy lawyer. He represented Diddy, so I knew that was okay. I was making sure that Mark Aragos. Okay. But anyway, let's go.
Us a sense of the fear factor here on his part, because they did attempt to shank him already. He knows.
Now, so we didn't know that. We didn't know that they attempted to shank him. They held that back for some reason. They held that back. Now, during yesterday, when he got sentenced, the lawyers came out with it and said that, he had an attempt on his life. Nobody didn't know that. But I know it was some rumors floating around. And I talked about it a minute that, I think somebody was trying to kill him. People said, oh, no, nobody didn't do nothing. He got me. So somebody tried to hit him before the fact. Hold on real quick. All right, let's go ahead and continue.
He's a target. Now he knows that he faces upwards of 2 years, with credit and all. But is he freaked out?
Well, I haven't talked to him since the sentence. I know in talking to him for innumerable times that, I would not say he's operating from a place of fear, although he was during the trial, as all defendants are, fearful. Nobody goes into a trial. Anybody who tells you they're not afraid when they're in trial is just lying through their teeth. But I think post-trial, he's acquitted himself well and was preparing himself for this. Obviously, I've got a lot to say about the sentence, but in terms of the fear factor, I think...
What's up, American Tradesman? What's up, man? What's up? What's going on? Oops. Oh, yeah, I got it. What's going on? So let's continue.
I think it's going to set in. I think over the next week, you're going to see him make some moves. And when I say make some moves, there's things you can do to try to figure out where and what you should do in terms of housing.
So the judge gave him 50 months. and
5-0.
5-0.
5-0.
And where he served 13, and when you look at the 15% credit, it's going to be 2 years and change that he's going to actually have to serve. I got to ask
2
you
years,
something
7
about
months.
something that happened in court today.
2
And
years,
we
7
talked
months
a lot
from,
about
from my calculation. It was almost 3 years. You know, so it looks like almost 3 years. They ain't want to tell you that. Oops. Let me stop that. Okay, let me go back over here. Yeah, that's how much he's doing. But anyway, let's continue.
really have to serve. I got to ask you something about something that happened in court today. And we talked a lot about this on the live stream. And I couldn't believe my ears that Diddy booked a speech for Monday. When I heard that,
See? He did. That's what he did. That's why 50 Cent is out here clowning him. This nigga booked the speech. He thought he was going to get out. For real, though. For real, though. He thought he was going to get out. Yesterday. I'm saying that he need to stay in prison. He need to keep getting sued, and then they put up another trial on him, and run him down into the ground. He's not gonna learn from what he's doing. He's gonna keep doing. He get off, he get out. He's gonna start doing the same old thing. He's not gonna learn. Matter of fact, he probably used his time in prison to gain more followers, more status. Now he's a bad boy now. Not just a head of bad boy, but he's the bad boy now. Shit. But anyway, let's continue.
that I thought, yeah, when the prosecution said hubris, it's like, oh yeah, the judge is going to let me out. It's no big deal. It was shocking to me that he would do something like that. It just seemed as tone deaf as just about anything I've heard in a long, long time.
Style starts with the details. The difference between mid.
It's interesting. There's been a lot of things, and obviously because I'm involved, I don't want to second guess. I don't want to lay blame. I might do that next week. But a lot of times you find that people in these situations, and high-profile people, make decisions that aren't the best. And I think amongst them, I know that they tried to clean it up in courtroom afterwards. Who knows the real backstory here? All I know is that I think he is earnest, he being Sean, about wanting to better himself. I think the prosecution's kind of
Hold on real quick.
gambit, if you will, by asking for 135 months, basically just, between 11 and 12 years. That has this effect of having the brain look to the midpoint. If somebody's at 14, and somebody's at 135, your brain automatically goes to the midpoint. And so there is that tendency that if you go so over the top, that you're going to get a sentence that exceeds, in my opinion, where he should have been.
Well,
It's also,
I thought he was going to be. I thought he was going to go higher than he did.
yeah, I will tell you this. When I set kind of my internal over and under at 39 months going into this, and I thought there's a lot of reasons for RDAP program, First Step program, given the Mann Act comparisons. Why 39 months as being the high end of one of the guidelines made a lot of sense, low end or kind of mid range of one of the others. I thought when his honor came out and said that he went through the machinations of adopting the probation office's 70 to 80, whatever, that to me said, oh, this is 39's out the window. He's going over 39 months.
Well,
so I've respectfully lost all the bets with people who took the over 39.
Well, and also what he said was, I am going to consider all the violence in the testimony. And when I heard that, because the defense position was he was acquitted on the charges directly involving violence, so the judge shouldn't consider it. And the judge said from the jump, I am going to consider it. And in the end, he said he was appalled by it, and you could just hear it, and literally said to Cassie, I heard you. And so even though he was acquitted, the judge said, I can still consider that. It may not be beyond a reasonable doubt for jurors, but it's on the table for me.
The viral Paleo Valley meat sticks are on sale right now for up to 20% off. These are the most
What he did was, and the argument was that it's what's called acquitted conduct, meaning there was conduct that he was acquitted of. And the judge said he wasn't going to basically go into that kind of whole line of cases. But he was going to consider it as a factor. And he did consider it, obviously, as a factor. And he said he was going to send a message, basically, deterrence effect. I always think of my father whenever a judge says, I want to send a message. My father used to say, shows you how old I am. If you want to send a message, use Western Union. But judges do want to send messages in high profile cases. Anybody who says high profile cases, celebrity cases, you get a break. You don't get a break, because if this were somebody else who had rolled the dice, so to speak, who had bet their livelihood their livelihood and all of his assets on the RICO, all of the life sentence on the sex trafficking, and one, instead of the government getting kind of an obstruction or all kinds of other tax tip and service charge, my opinion and what normally happens is the judge would say, well, you took your best shot, government, and you took a swing, you lost, and I'm not going to let you indulge in being a sore loser. In this case, I think what he did was he said, I'm finding the guidelines 70 through 80, whatever. So now you could argue and go on appeal if he sentenced within the guidelines that he miscalculated them. But what he did was, and I was telling one of my partners as he did that, I said, you watch, he can be intellectually diabolical. The way to insulate this sentence and this appeal is to come substantially under the guidelines that he's accepted of probation, but hammer him nonetheless. And that's exactly what he did. You come in at 50 to 60, it insulates the appeal.
Yep. And that leads me to what I thought he was going to do as a Hail Mary. So indulge me for a minute. That
Please.
when Diddy said he wanted to speak, which I knew he would do.
Well, you and I talked about it yesterday.
I know.
Said, we talked about it off air yesterday. I said to you, he had to speak.
So here's what I thought he was going to say, because at that point, he knew he wasn't going to walk out of jail. He knew he was going to get time, and significant time. So here's what I thought he was going to say. Your Honor, and he does his whole apology and remorse and all of that, and he does it all. And then at the end, he says this. Your Honor, respectfully, I would like to say that I now understand what President Trump was saying when he said that the Justice Department was weaponized against him, because I feel similarly. I feel like that's what happened to me, not with the Mann Act, but with all those other charges. And they went into my bedroom the way they tried to go into President Trump's bedroom, and it was wrong. And I thought that he would throw that Hail Mary to get a pardon. And Donald Trump, to me, loves flattery more than anything. And if he embraced him in that courtroom, I thought that was his best shot. And it didn't happen. Talk to me about that.
Mega millionaire Charles Munger
You know, people often, I think you are miscast in some quarters, not all quarters, but I don't think people understand what a brilliant tactician strategist you are. Because if he had done that, I might have kind of massaged the message. I think there are, and you've heard me talk about this, I think there's incredible similarities between Diddy's situation and the president's situation. I think not the least. Least of which is the lead prosecutor, conspicuous by her absence today. Maureen Comey was the one who prosecuted both Diddy and Epstein, and whose father was basically indicted at the kind of dispatch of the president. And there are similarities. They are both in New York. They both had, in my opinion, prosecutors who weaponized the criminal justice system against them. And by the way, as soon as Sean heard the fact that the judge was adopting the sentencing guidelines that we just talked about, as soon as that judge said, I'm going to overrule the objections, overrule the idea of that he's going to adopt any of the defense constitutional or due process objections, if I'm Sean Combs and I'm sitting in that courtroom, I would have just said, you know what? You're right. This guy, his honor is going to hammer me. I'm not walking out of here. I don't know whose harebrained scheme it was to book a speaking engagement or whatever for next week. I don't care what the speaking engagement was, unless it was something that was going to be remote or virtual. That isn't even something you should have been talking about. And I should have been appealing to the other judge of one who could do something for me is DJT.
So why didn't it happen? Because look.
Oh, sorry, I
we had a
muted.
big argument about this on the live.
Oh, okay.
stream
Wait,
today,
hold on.
That
Damn.
there were people who were saying,
Okay, I'm muted. Okay, hold on.
Oh,
Okay, hold on. All right, what I was saying before. What's up, Char Willie? What's going on? God damn. Okay. Let's see. What's up, Char Willie? Let me give her applause. Thank you for that. Now, like I was said a couple minutes ago when I was muted, is that P. Diddy basically I don't know. I think they might want him to go to jail, put him in general population. I don't think he's gonna be PC'd up. I don't know. They might just want him to take himself out. Maybe one day, be in the cell, hanged, or get shot by one of the prisoners. He's going to prison now, so it's different. You're dealing with prison politics now. It's totally different. You listen to people like Red Supreme. They know about prison politics and prison that because he's been in there and stuff like that, so he knows what's up. He can be dealing with all the gangs, and shit like that, and P. Diddy would be messed up. He get put in L.A. prison out here, federal prison out here. He might have some problems, with the Crips. I don't know. That whole situation with Keefy D, paid the Crips that, and you didn't pay Crips D and Keefy D. I don't know. He might have some goddamn problems. I don't think they're gonna put him in the same prison with Keefy D. They might. He's gonna have some problems if they put him in general population. That's why Monday they want to see where he's gonna go, or they might just put him way out there in Nebraska somewhere with the ABs. He had that shit with the little girl, white girl. It was underage. He gang banged her, and we were friends. They're not gonna take too kind of that. So either way he goes, he's gonna be in serious danger. And 2 years is a long way. It doesn't matter. You got 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. That's a long time to deal with this bullshit. And if he's in general population, he's fucked. That's all I can say. His money gonna go so far. Because some people over there just want to rap that I get him, I got him. And we don't know how many of his enemies are sitting in prison. In the prison that he's going to. We don't know that either. Remember, they said he already got shanked. He already, attempted shank. Come on now. Anyway, let's go.
Number one, I don't know he'd lose his entire base. And you know what? If you lose your base, you gain another base, and you're free. And that seems to be what matters. So, was this...
Let me see what Charlie says. Charlie, I can hear you now. Okay. They'll mess with you. Yeah. I agree with you on it. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They just want to get the rap. They want the rap. Hey, I whooped him. I punked him. This and that and third. He gave me some booty or some shit. This is all kind of wild shit. I make him give me my dick. This and that. They'll be saying all kind of shit. It's going to be interesting because Monday's going to be another day we need to look out for. We want to know where he's going to be sent to. That's going to be very important because we got to check out that situation in that prison. Who's there? And so some of y'all that knows about prison life and prison systems and who's over here, who's there, it's going to be important. Now, best thing he do if he's in general population is, change his life what we did with the Muslims, or whatever. You had to do something. Because the money only get you so far, like I said, money only get you so far. After a while, they're going to say, I want to do this, I want to do that. You're going to get tired of doing that shit. Now you're going to have some problems. But anyway, let's continue. We can get on to the next one. I'm gonna play a little bit more of this, and that's it.
It's discussed. I mean, was it rejected? I mean, did somebody think of it?
I can't get into any of that as work product. What I will tell you is, and I'm critiquing the team myself, I thought that the die was cast when his honor came out and overruled the objections. So at that point, you have to, I always say, my favorite word in the criminal law is fluidity. You cannot, it's the Mike Tyson, who was a former client of mine, and Mike famously said, everybody's got a plan till they get punched in the nose. And when you get punched in the nose, you have to remain fluid. You've got to do something. And I'm not second guessing anybody, but this was not the finest hour.
Not hard to read between the lines. Was there a problem because there were too many lawyers in this case? Because I'm just thinking, when there's one, you use somebody who has great judgment, and there were plenty of people with good judgment, but this felt like a committee. And we talked about this at the beginning, and you kind of dismissed it and said, yeah, well, this happens a lot. But I'm thinking, you have one person saying, do it this way, it's easier, it's clearer, and you take bolder moves than when it gets kind of watered down. And that's kind of what it felt like today for me.
Look, I love everybody on the team, but I was insistent, to the extent I was listened to, which I think was quite a bit, that Mark and Tenny run the show, and Alexandra handle the appellate. Mark and Tenny should have run the sentencing, in my opinion, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, see, he was a third wheel, because if they brought him in last, remember Mark Garagos, they brought him in last as to be more of an advisor, so they didn't have no real say. So, and if it was, they probably would went a little bit different, But it is what it is, That's a mistake I think they made, because he is the better lawyer. Him and his daughters is probably the better lawyer. My goddamn Michael Steele, Brian Steele. I mean, jeez, really. But anyway, let's continue.
So, the appeal seems off the. Are they even going to bother appealing this?
Oh, I think it's way too early to make that determination. I mean, you have to let it sit in. I will tell you. And by the way, 50 months, 50, leaves you open to a number of possibilities if you're Sean Combs, and he will be consulting with consultants. He'll be consulting with professionals who will give him the advice on that, who understand exactly the permutations. But for an appeal, I'm going to go back to the point I made and try to make it less esoteric. By giving him 50 months, by the judge sentencing him to 50 months, the appeal, I think, if I'm handicapping it, if somebody comes to me and says, Mark, what do you think about an appeal? It's not Sean Combs, it's somebody else. The judge found sentencing guidelines that were over 70, and the judge went under by 20. And then I'm asked, I went to trial, I lost on a couple of counts, and the judge went under what probation suggested the guidelines are. I would tell you that an appeal is incredibly, it's always a heavy lift. It just becomes a Herculean lift because
I told you, the judge knew what he was doing. The probation wanted 7. Then they probably could have run the appeal and had a better chance of him getting it. Now, since he went under, it's no way they're going to get it. There's no way he's going to get it. He fucked. He's going to do the goddamn time. Anyway, I'm going to leave it like, I'm going to play a little bit more.
The way the judge did it. And by the way, I've said this a couple of times. This is not a judge who, this job was a upgrade. He took a massive pay cut. He was an accomplished litigator. He has a pedigree that most law students would envy, and he's a very, very brilliant man. And if you don't think he thought this through and understands, no judge wants to
he thought this through.
Get reversed. And this is about as insulated a sentence as you can get from an appeal. Having said that, on the Mann Act itself, he left some wiggle room open for the constitutionality of the Mann Act as applied. That's a separate grounds for appeal than the sentence itself. As far as the sentence itself, I just think that's a lift.
Your house is wasting.
What do you mean that I'll do it? Okay, hold on. Let me
So a lot of defendants in his position would get a prison consultant. And I would think that you've gotten one for him already, that he's talked to them. And I would think he's talked to them. I want to go back to the safety issue. That, Diddy, and the judge seemed to buy it. Diddy sexually brutalized these women. You may not say he did, and Diddy may not say he did, but the judge clearly believed it. So that puts an even bigger target on his back. To be sexually assaulted in prison, to be violently assaulted. So was this addressed by a prison consultant yet? Does he have one? Have they talked?
Look, I talk to prison consultants, I want to say, at least once a day for high profile and no profile clients. I think prison consultants are one of the essentials. Don't leave home without them, so to speak. Don't go to prison without one. And I say this because they tell you, and normally, you take somebody like Craig Rothfeld, who's one of the top 2 or 3, if not the top. They understand it because they've lived it and they get it, and they know certain things that you just can't know having been on the outside. It would not surprise me if I, at a certain point, put another client of mine in touch with him just to give him some guidance as well, or another 2 clients, because there are things you have to do. You have to look forward. You can't look backwards. But Harvey, I hate to say it, but the reality is the only thing that's more at risk when you go to prison is a child murderer or child sexual predator.
That's right.
That's right. And so
I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to get off of this. We're going to get the other one up. But I just wanted to go through that a minute. Let me get that out of here. We're going to talk about the Suge Knight. And this time I'm going to make sure I come back and unmute myself. Okay, so now let's play the other clip. This clip here. Suge Knight was on CNN being interviewed by Laura Coates, and I saw this last night, so I had to talk about this. Yeah, so Suge Knight put his 2 cents in about how P. Diddy is gonna survive in jail for these 4 years or 3 years, whatever you wanna. Whatever time that you think he's gonna actually really do. So let's go ahead and start this.
Okay. We've talked a lot throughout the course of this trial. He got 4 years, 2 months. Do you agree with the sentence?
Well, I'm not the judge or the jury, but what I would say is that on one side of it, it's great for his children because kids are the future. And the other side of it, at least the victims got some satisfaction out of it. But when you really look at it, 3 years seems like 30 years to Puffy. So it's not like...
There you go. There you go. That's what we've been saying. It's just like time slow down when you get up in there and stuff. Especially somebody that never been in it. They all know. Suge Knight, you know, he's veteran. He's been in prison, in jail. And there's nothing to him. But whereas him, he never done this like this. He's might lose his mind. Like I said, you know, people like myself, I ain't never been in there. I'm gonna have a problem. Of course. Anybody that never been in jail, you and then you 55, about to do time. I can see, you know, doing it when you're in your 20s and stuff, you know, but you know, you shouldn't be in the 55 years old sitting there doing some time, hard time, or any type of time, man. Come on, man. Shit, this is crazy. Unless you're a criminal or a proper criminal. That's all I can say on that. Give me a laugh on that. So let's continue.
Like, he walking in there and it's going to be Disneyland. You know, we have a reputation and he's a famous person. So either people are going to love him or they're going to hate him. It's not going to be a gray area. So I'm quite sure it's going to be a lot of controversy going on, you know?
Well, you know, his defense counsel raised that point to the judge and said something like, for someone like him, it'd be a trophy to hurt him. He already said that apparently he was almost attacked, shanked in jail. What's the next 3.5, 4 years going to be like for him?
Well, more than likely they're going to try to do their best to protect him. But once we all got to understand is that we do understand what we sign up for. And we do understand that we benefit from most of everything we do.
See, I'm glad he said that. He said, you know, what we sign up for. Maybe he don't. That's the thing. You sign up, you do this, so now you got to pay the cost. So, you know, most guys, the real criminals, know that most likely I'm going to end up being dead or I'm going to do some time in prison. I'm already built for it. I'm already ready for it. You know, so most of them, some, not all of them, but I'm just saying, most of them will. That's, you know, they know that this is the job I signed up for. Just like in casino where, Nikki said, you know, I this is what job we have. I signed up for this. Anyway, let's continue.
So when your bed get a little rough, you gotta respect him and lay in him. And he can get his relationship better with God, or he can get his workout on and get ready to protect himself. One way or the other, it's gonna be a situation that's not pleasant or happy for him, you know?
There you go.
Suge, I mean, he said today, I know that I've learned my lesson. He's been arguing that he's a changed man who wants to do better.
Then you got to understand that he's going to have problems with a lot of the Bloods in there, too, if he depending on who you're going to put him because of Suge Knight affiliation with the Bloods or something. He's going to have a lot of problems with a lot of people. You know. For real, though. Anyway, let's go.
Wanted the second chance to have immediate freedom. Do you believe him?
Well, what I believe is that only thing I felt that they didn't do, none of his baby mothers came in and spoke up and said they'd never been beaten or they never had anything done to them badly. So that's a question to make you say, okay, I think that's one of the things that the prosecution and everybody looked at.
Suge, if you could tell Diddy one thing tonight, what would it be?
Well, I feel he got a relationship with God, so I don't need to tell him that. But if it was about surviving in prison, don't listen to nobody in prison. Go there and do your own time. First thing you do, don't worry about who got your back. Have your own back. And use your time to better yourself. Use your time to working out, getting your health better, you know. Don't get on drugs. Because, you know, it's more drugs in prison than it is in the streets.
There you go. There you said it. It's like everybody else said. It's more drugs in prison than on the streets. There you go.
So you got to stay away from the drugs, stay away from the unnecessary BS, and make sure you make it home safely. But you're not home until you're home. Be prepared to fight.
That's right. There you go. That was should have said that. So let's get off of that and let's get on to here. So I want to play this part. This is the X-Stylist. I played it before on the other channel. This is the X-Stylist that's suing P. Diddy. And this stylist got on CBS Morning. Now the full interview, it hasn't. I don't think it's out yet. But anyway, let's go ahead and play this.
On Diddy Combs after a jury found him guilty in July of two felonies related to prostitution. But he's also facing a new lawsuit. Deontay Nash, who testified at the trial and worked as a stylist for the rapper, alleges he suffered years of abuse, which Combs denies. Nash spoke exclusively to Jerika Duncan.
Puff is chanced out. He's had enough chances. He's right where he needs to be.
Deontay Nash says he worked for Sean Combs from 2008 to 2018, styling Combs and his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. In May, Nash says he was ordered by the court to testify.
Hold on. Charles Willie, I don't think he's going to survive no goddamn 2 years. 2.5. I don't think he's going to survive it. I don't think he's going to survive it. Unless he get PC'd up, and if he do PC, he might just go crazy. Because that's 24 hours lockdown. Can't do it. I don't think so. But anyway, let's continue. I'll talk about that tomorrow on the other channel.
At Combs' criminal trial.
You didn't want to be there to begin with.
I did not.
But you were there because of?
I had to be for Cassie and for myself.
Last week, Nash filed a lawsuit against Combs, accusing the mogul of sexually, physically, and emotionally abusing Nash for a decade. The 39-year-old alleges Combs touched him inappropriately, used a homophobic slur more than once to address him, and choked him on multiple occasions.
Damn. What the fuck going on here? What kind of love triangle is this? Oh, jeez. Oh, no. Oh, no. Let's continue.
Describe the incident you talk about when he strangled you, you say?
Yes.
What happened?
Which time? There was one. Cassie was shooting a video. I love it. And we went to like a restaurant the night before. He just came in with such a bad attitude. So I just left the room. You know what I mean? And I went outside to smoke a cigarette. I don't know how he found me. My back was turned. The next thing I know, he's coming up to me and grabbing me and choking me and throwing me on the car. Didn't I tell y'all don't need to be going out? I'm like, Jesus Christ. And he's like choking me out.
For all the people or questions about why you didn't leave, why you didn't quit or call the police, what stopped you from taking action much sooner?
We were frightened. I was frightened the whole time. I signed up for Bad Boy Entertainment, a record label. I didn't sign up for that kind of treatment. And it will last me for the rest of my life.
Combs' legal team denied the accusations in a statement to CBS News.
It said, Mr. Nash is another opportunist looking for profit off of his proximity to celebrity.
Well, I mean, it kind of mirrors his other statements. I'm far from an opportunist. I think he may be the opportunist. He's the biggest celebrity opportunist I know. A vast majority of the things in my lawsuit, I said on the stand, and they didn't dispute it.
Is this about money?
No, absolutely not.
What is this about?
This is about getting back everything I worked for. This is about getting, I was abused. No, it's not about money. It's about making myself feel whole. And I can do it.
What is your hope for the future?
I hope that the sentence is something good enough for the victims to get some peace and get their lives together and feel like they've gotten justice. I mean, that's really all I can ask for.
Earlier this week, Nash sent a letter to the judge writing that Combs robbed him of his safety and his dignity, saying that Combs' reach was suffocating. Vlad?
What a powerful interview, Jerika. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, I don't know if they think that the 4.5 years is enough. A lot of them are speaking out. I told you, Tisha Tells, a lot of them saying that this wasn't enough and stuff. They mad at the judge. But then the judge did the right thing. They just don't see the end game on this. The judge, because if they gave him more than that, they probably would have was able to get appeal. Win the appeal. They can't get no appeal on this and stuff. And you know, they already trying to say that this whole sentence was unconstitutional to Diddy lawyers. But Nash, they gonna get their due at the end. Trust me, they gonna get them just due at the end, because it's not over yet. You know, he got a whole bunch of other lawsuits pending, and there's a good chance that they might run a case back on P. Diddy while he's in jail. I'm sure it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. This ain't over yet by a long shot, folks. For real though. Let me get back over here. But anyway, I wanted to come on here and talk about it. So, hey, thank you guys for coming through. Appreciate it. You know, trying to build this channel up and stuff. So, you know, I see people in and out. And, you know, but anyway, tomorrow I'll be on my other channel and we're gonna talk about. Do a little ranting. I gotta talk about some of this Diddy and this MJ Warren situation, because she's in this mess now. And I don't think Diddy or myself want to get into this shit. I ain't trying to hear nothing. I'm not trying to contact nobody. Leave me out of this. I did my time with this Diddy Warren thing. MJ, you on your own on this goddamn bullshit that's out here now. I ain't trying to hear nothing but what you say. You know, you trying to get me to find Diddy out. Well, you can find it yourself. I'm not helping you do nothing. I'm not trying to get into this. I did my time. So I told you what the niggas was about. The niggas didn't want to hear me. All they did was try to blame me for the situation. So I said, well, okay, I just see myself out. You deal with it. Do what you gotta do. But don't include me into this bullshit. But I'm gonna talk about it tomorrow anyway on my other channel. Anyway, that's all I got, folks. That's it. Uncle REG signing off. Peace.